Travis Wayne Goodsell. I got back from my first real day after, I guess we can say, a Utah government shutdown because of the coronavirus. My bank was only allowing 4 customers in at a time, and so I had to be let out as they had to unlock the door to let me out. Then the grocery store, I go to Smith's Kroger, a nationwide big box franchise. Well, I don't know if franchise is the right word, but it's a big box store like McDonald's, but it's groceries. And because they're using analytical programs, they're not accurately predicting the coronavirus response. And so instead of throwing it away and going back to the good old days of we've passed the limit on this product, we need to order more, and at the rate that it went, we need to order this much. It's real simple to run a business. It's not complicated. I turned Blockbuster Video, the one store that I was working at, into a $1 million business, which is why they shut us down, because they were purposely trying to sabotage it and trying to make the brand new store that they had built up on 6,000 or 6,400 or whatever. They wanted that one to be the $1 million store, and we were hurting that store because we were able to provide the customers what they wanted. It's not complicated. So if you're unfamiliar with this system of government that we're in right now, it's called fascism. It's a little different than communism. Fascism is where it's a survival of the fittest almost, where everything is shut down, you're limited and restricted and banned and zoned and curfewed, all those words that take away liberty, and you're required to pay for whatever is available. And so at the grocery store, I had ketchup on my list. Gone. All brands, all gone. Plenty of mustard. I've got mustard. I needed ketchup. So I had to buy barbecue sauce instead for $1 more. They are supposed to not price gouge, but this is fascist price gouging, where the cheaper products that we can afford are not available, and we're forced to pay more for a higher priced product. And the look on people's faces, oh man. Depression everywhere. Very few people would smile at me. And they know me. I've been here 5 years. I know many of the people that go there, and there were a lot of people that I normally didn't see who were there today. And so that was also a difference that's going on. If you're curious about communism, and if that might be better because the progressives are saying so, no. It's also bad. Under communism, it would be free. Yeah, you just have to be a laborer. As long as you're a laborer, you can obtain what you need. but you don't get to own property, and you don't get to choose what you get. It's a state product. You don't get choices. You get one kind of ketchup, and that's it. So that's the difference with communism. So if you like Heinz over Hunt's, sorry, you have to take the state brand. So communism is not good either. But we cannot survive under fascism. We're already in a recession, and I haven't checked the stock market. Let's see how that's going today. If Trump lied again to give the big businesses an excuse to buy back stuff. Stock market. Don't need it when Trump took office. Stock market live. Resumed their roller coaster ride an hour ago. So, roller coaster ride, does that mean it went up? Come on, guys. Help me with the live. Where's the live one? There it is. MoneyCNN.com. Okay, yeah. It's up by a couple hundred. No big deal. And we got 2 more hours left until it closes. So, alrighty. But yeah, they buy low, sell high. That's what they do. They're just toying with us. Because we don't invest in the stock market, do we? But they use it as an excuse to screw us over on products available in their stores. Smith's, Kroger. And so our economy, as we're now implementing fascism with it, is one where people are getting fired. Whole ton of businesses are closing down, except for grocery stores. And so there's no way anybody's going to be able to get a job anymore, because all the businesses that are in business are already fully stocked with employees. They're just low on stock. And so everybody is now signing up for welfare, Social Security. And in Utah, Social Security is less than minimum wage because, as Governor Herbert says, it's a deterrent to prevent deadbeats. So all of you in Utah who have lost your job because of the coronavirus, because of Gary Herbert, Governor Herbert, you're now a deadbeat, according to the state of Utah. And you're going to receive less than minimum wage. Now, if you have a family, they give you a little more, but it's still less than a minimum wage. It's going to be less than what you received when you were working. And I don't know if and when we'll ever get money from the government, but it's not going to be more than $1,000. You know, that's a monthly, that's a month's wages for people, isn't it? On the low end. And so fascism cannot exist with a monetary system, but they purposely are using fascism under our monetary system, specifically because they're transitioning us into the new world order with a new government and a new economy. And you can say, oh, Travis, that's nonsense. Well, yeah, what coronavirus was nonsense too, wasn't it? Didn't Trump say it was a hoax? Now look at you. You know, he went after his loyalists, the people who voted for him. He went for you. He's attacking you. Remember, Trump caused this. He caused the spread. never forget that. And I was trying to say before it all hit the fan that the states need to secede from the nation, because Trump can't be allowed in office. He can't be allowed to govern. And this is why. But being in Utah, I don't want Utah to govern either. Because they were very quick to implement fascism. Now, Governor Herbert did allow for some lenience for sick leave and no evictions for HUD, no evictions for, well, I guess that was Trump, but Gary Herbert also said no evictions for anybody if you can't pay your bills because you got laid off, and no shutting off of power or anything like that. But you know, people are on minimum wage or less than minimum wage Social Security now. Do you understand that you're going to have to readjust your budget? Are you going to be able to pay for the internet and still be able to buy food and clothing for if you have a family and kids? And that's the sad thing, watching everybody paranoid in the grocery store and in the bank and on the bus. Except for Mary. Shout out to Mary. She finally asked my name today. I always see her asking other guys for their names, but she's never asked me for mine until today. Oh well. But yeah, there is a better way. There are other ways. And we don't have to go through any of this. We should have been prepared, but it was not profitable, was it? Because to have stock sitting on the shelves not getting sold means you've paid people to make that product or bought the machinery to make that product, and you're not selling to get your money back on that product. And so that's the interesting thing of balancing a business, but it can be done. I mean, I was at Blockbuster. We knew very well that people wanted the new releases. They didn't want family favorites. There was a few, but it wasn't worth the profit. And so, yeah, we, at our store, that's what we did. We turned the brand new Simpsons DVDs into rentals. And it took off. We easily made our money back on it. And then people wanted what they wanted, and we provided it for them. It was that simple. See, Smiths, people want food. People want sanitation. People want hygiene. What good is it for them to be empty? They could be making a whole lot more money now and still lower their prices and make a profit, because they're becoming an exclusive business under the coronavirus, a basic necessity item, and they're wasting the opportunity to implement fascism. And they tell us that we can only we can't overshop. Well, then they have orange juice on sale if you buy 5. You have to buy 5. If you don't buy 5, you have to pay the full price. And otherwise, orange juice. Remember that? Remember when the first hurricane hit Florida and destroyed the orange crops? Well, Smith's was the first ones to raise their prices on orange juice. And they've never lowered them other than their buy 5 and we'll lower it for you. And they only do that randomly. And today they did it. So I had to ask Mandy, am I going to get in trouble if I buy 5? Is that over shopping? And she said no. But yeah, I mean, basic necessity. So I don't know if there's going to be orange juice next week. I won't need it next week. I won't need it for a few weeks. But what about milk? You know, will milk be available to buy next week? You know, these basics. So that's the situation we're in. Now, I created a whole new economic system. I can't do nothing with it. I'm not rich. I haven't gotten the order from the court saying that I've won my lawsuit, but the church is purposely delaying because they don't know how to beat me. So they're now cheating. And so I've got a guy coming today who's going to investigate the cheating. So I'm trying, guys, but I can't do it alone. So, unbelievable. The church used to have welfare meetings for conferences. I was collecting the conferences for Russ on the digital format because DVDs are too bulky and difficult for him with only one arm available to use. And I'm going through the whole history of the church since '71. And yeah, they had welfare sessions. And then it just stopped. And no more were they telling Mormons to have a year's supply of food. Benson lowered it to a month or a emergency supply or something like that. I mean, they kept lowering it. But yeah, they just gave up. And they weren't following their own example, were they? Because where's the year's supply in the bishop's storehouses? Where's the year's supply stored up by the welfare square? Where is it? Because for the welfare square, bishop storehouses, they know they're going to have to provide for a state emergency, a national emergency, a world emergency. They're the church. They're everywhere. If they're going to be everywhere, they need to be able to take care of the people's physical needs. Because the Bible and Jesus, take care of the physical needs first, then you can take care of their spiritual needs. But no, they'd rather follow the parable of the talents and give all the money that they've collected to Jesus when he comes at the second coming, as they are wanting Mormons to believe. And as I've pointed out, that's not our doctrine, Mormons. That's not our theology. That's not our predictions for the second coming. It's not. You've been deceived. We all have. And see, that's the one thing I couldn't figure out is, who is this other man if Jesus is supposed to be coming back? I don't understand. And it's supposed to be a hush-hush thing. And even when I was in the church service curriculum department working on the footnotes for the scriptures, they would all talk about it, but there was no way they were ever going to footnote it properly. I don't understand why, other than it would expose a different doctrine that the church wanted to be preached instead. So, alrighty. But yeah, Joseph Smith, I found that not too long ago and have been doing videos and talking about it ever since. July 19th, 1840. He gave a talk. It's in the Joseph Smith papers, but Brigham Young wanted nothing to do with it in his Doctrine and Covenants. And He said that we need to build Zion. Now, then, before the coming of Christ, Son of Man. He knew that it's not Jesus. He knew it had to be built before. And he knew it had to be in southern Illinois, not Kirtland, although he did say Kirtland was supposed to be the place originally, as I did in the other video. That was in the Kirtland. That was a Kirtland revelation. And then Missouri then became the next spot. So it kept changing as they moved. But southern Illinois, that's X marks the spot. If you don't know what I mean, you don't know about the signs in the heavens. And Mormons, you were warned to watch for the signs in the heavens. I even went over that in the video where it says if you do not watch the signs, you will be excommunicated from the church. That's what it means by cut off. And unfortunately, the whole church is in apostasy, so it has to do with the restored church. But no Zion. And he talked about how his economy would work. No poor in Zion. His economy would make everyone prosperous. So the poor, refugees coming in, made prosperous. That was his economy. That was his solution to prevent what we're now implementing under coronavirus, as we are transitioning into the new world order with a new economy and a new form of government. And it's not complicated to implement. And it could be in full operation rather quickly, because we already have the buildings set up. Use the churches to become distribution centers, bishop storehouses. It's not complicated. So, but who's listening to me? Nobody. And the church is trying to knock me down again. And Mormons are raging. Thumbs down. You're full of it, Travis. You're an apostate. You're evil. You're of the devil. From my own people. They know the signs. They know the prophecies. And yet they don't see it. Because they're waiting for Nelson to say it. And Nelson closed the church. We're in Armageddon, and Nelson closed the church so that the church can be preserved when all is said and done. Regardless of how many wicked Mormons die. Because that's how they'll think of it. They'll just say, oh, they just weren't righteous enough. That's why they died. Unless one of them goes with coronavirus. And then they'll make an excuse. Oh, well, the righteous have to testify against the wicked. So, alrighty. I hope you guys are safe. This could be better. I remember seeing that my face was blurry earlier on my video. Seems like it's okay. I probably need to upgrade it to a higher 1080 rather than the 720. But it's looking more like a 360 when I was looking at it this morning. Alrighty. Still remember the Simpsons episode when Krusty was on HD for the first time. And they zoom into his face. Oh, hilarious. Well, this is the final end of the Simpsons, I guess. Although it is all cartoon, they could withstand this whole thing, possibly. Fox could resurrect itself with the Simpsons being the only show available. I guess Family Guy and any cartoon. So that's what our fall 2020 preview is going to look like. All cartoons on Fox. Clone Wars, maybe they'll decide to continue it. Even though this is supposed to be the final one, and then they go into the movie anyway. I mean, they can do another cartoon for Star Wars and use Baby Yoda. We still have 2 months until it becomes available on Amazon. And Amazon's shutting down because the last couple of deliveries, and I need to order some stuff today, they were sent by the postman. They weren't delivering it by their guys anymore. And I'm not seeing same-day service and next-day service was still postman. So I think Bezos is hurting, and he shouldn't be. He had the capability to withstand this, but he chose to blow it. When I was locked up by the church, I invented a business. And when I got out, I saw that my business idea was already being implemented by different companies. They were all different companies. Mine was inclusive of all of it. And so, I know how to do business, guys. Just nobody wants to let me in because of all the restrictions and lack of money because of the economy system that we have. It purposely keeps people down. So, alright. I'm just rambling now, aren't I? And the analytics on YouTube says that you guys don't watch up to this point. But just understand, there is a better way. We don't have to be locked up and helpless. We can be confined in our homes because the virus is real, but we don't need to be punished with a lack of money and a lack of product to survive on. And we don't have to lose any of the technologies. There is other ways where we can have everything we need, everything we want, and still be safe from coronavirus. It is possible. So don't get fooled. I mean, MSNBC, all their guests are saying, oh yeah, we need to lock it down, lock it down. Well, yeah, how are the people going to get food? How are the people going to get medicine and sanitation? How are they going to get it? They're not going to get paid. They've lost their jobs. Well, yeah, their government's going to have to figure that out. Yeah, what? By putting us deeper in debt? No. Giving us $1,000 every month? No. I mean, New York can't survive on $1,000 a month. I mean, it's more than $1,000 just for rent. And so yeah. So, alright. It's frustrating when I'm forced into a system that I know can be better, that I can design it better, that I can run it better. That's the frustrating thing. And I've got experience. I've done systems that have been improved. Beehive Clothing for the church. I'm the one who redesigned their warehouse there at Beehive Clothing. I came in, they said, oh, we've had lots of guys try to figure out a better way to do things. This is the best we can come up with. Yeah, my mom always told me this is the best we can do. And I never agreed with her on that either, as I improved our family situations for myself. And so, yeah, I'm the one who redesigned the warehouse. And that's what they did to me as a reward, is lock me up. That had to do with translation. I'm a translator, they're not. They were upset, they locked me up. That was my crime, translator. And so, yeah, I redesigned their warehouse. We had a crew of 7. We worked a full day, 40 hours per week, but we still didn't get caught up, so we had to work Saturdays, overtime, to try to get caught up, or at least some semblance of close enough to caught up. And then the next week we got behind again, over and over and over and over again. They even brought in a new conveyor scanner to speed things up. Nope, we still were struggling. And it was real easy. Just get rid of the pallets around the end of the conveyor, make it a full storage unit, floor storage unit, and then once the pallets are full, you put them on the racks. 2 people, and we were finished by 10 a.m. That's how good I am. And they showed no gratitude. They even scared me off the job. Well, chased me off the job. Dick Ballard, my supervisor, knowing of my contributions after 9/11, refused to. The church didn't want anybody to get a raise, and so Dick Ballard, being the loyalist he was, tried to make an excuse of my poor performance, of which I told him, hell no, you're lying. And so, yeah, he didn't like that. He ran out screaming, I want him fired, get him out of here. And so I took sick leave. And at the end of the sick leave, I get a call, oh, yeah, I quit. It's just, they were going to have to move me to a different department rather than move him. All because the church wanted money. And they lost money because they didn't listen to me. At the distribution center warehouse where I was working, they brought in college students to evaluate our situation. And they came up with the storage cranes. I don't know if you've seen those or not, but I said, don't do it for the pick line. Whatever you do, don't do it for the pick line. It'll be fine for the full box items, as long as whatever system they have is effective. And it is for the box items. There's a little lag because humans have to be involved in it. They have to pick out, the human has to pick out from the crane the item that they need and then put it on the conveyor down to shipping. And that delays the process. You don't need that. You can do it all automated so that you don't have a human standing at that position. The orders are in, you process them in the computer knows the boxes that need to be pulled and puts the shipping label on the boxes as they are pulled out and sent to shipping automatically. It's not complicated. Bezos has something similar to that, but they chose not to listen to me, and they implemented a pick line conveyor system, as humans had to pick the individual items, which means they had to pull out individual items after waiting for the conveyor crane system to pull it out and bring it to them where they were sitting, and then put it in a box, and then They just, oh my God. And so then the church lost $1 million that first year. $1 million. Petty change for them, really. But I could have saved them that $1 million if they just listened to me. And instead, they talked to the company, and the company said, "Well, you guys just aren't doing it right. You're not experienced enough. Give it time." Oh my God. So now, the joys of working for the church. They're supposed to be the best and the brightest in the church, because we're supposed to have the Holy Ghost with us. We're supposed to have increased experience with the Spirit, and the beginning revelations here, revelations there, here a revelation, there a revelation, everywhere a revelation. Nope. I'm sorry, Mormons. I'm sorry. But for people who are supposed to be the best and the brightest, you're not. You don't even know your own doctrine. And I know that because I was a teacher. I was a teacher of teachers, even. And they didn't even know the basic doctrines. That's the sad part. As the church has purposely, in their apostasy, darkened the minds of Mormons. And now we're implementing fascism, as Mormons now suffer under the hand of oppression. With no job, no income, and yet they still need to survive somehow. Just pathetic. Alright, I'm done.